Hey HCG family, this is Mimi's HCG. I'm making my second video for YouTube, and there's a couple of things that I wanted to mention that I didn't last time as far as in preparation of starting HCG in January, and that's my plan. Is to start it and to do some loading. We'll be getting home we're taking a little vacation up in a cabin, so we're leaving the day after Christmas, so after that we'll be gone for like 6 days and then coming home and then having to start loading. And I can be truthful, I do not like loading at all. I feel like I have been loading plenty already, so it just concerns me. Once I start researching and I start getting my head and preparation ready for the HCG, it seems like my body already starts just not even liking food. And of course that wears off after about, maybe a couple of weeks into HCG. So, and after that's done loading, it kind of wears off, but not too much, because I'm definitely not hungry, but I'm looking for that feeling. I miss that feeling of feeling just a tad bit empty at night, and when you go to bed. So right now it just feels like I just got done eating a perfect load food, which is portobello mushrooms with cream and butter and Parmesan, like an Alfredo sauce, and sun-dried tomatoes, and I make that every once in a while for my husband and me, so I just ate some leftover, and I'm like completely grossed out. But anyway, one of the things that I have a problem with on the thing with HCG, and the second time that I went on it, and I went into phase 3, and I do good on phase 3, I stabilized, never had to do, I take that back, the second time I did have to do a steak day. What happens is, after phase 3 and being on that, and going into a phase 4 and bringing foods back in, and not really so much like it's bad foods. We're not fast food eating people. We very seldom ever eat out because we try to stay away from as much as the chemicals. I don't drink soft drink. I do drink beer. I do like a beer every now and then, and but my problem is I dread getting up in the morning and weighing myself, and I just dread it. I just absolutely, the thought of living my life having to step on a scale. It was years. We never had a scale. I had to go out, I had to get one. I ordered one from Amazon. Had to get a scale for this diet, and it was the hardest thing because I've never been bulimic or anorexic or anything like that, but ever since I was, it seems like ever since I was young, at least puberty, I have been on some kind of diet. And so, but I never weighed myself because I didn't really grow up. I think we had like an old scale that we had, but I didn't weigh myself. But I always had that image of myself being, fat, having to watch myself all the time. So the thought of living the rest of my adult life standing on a scale every single day, it messes with my head really bad. So that's something I have to really be careful with, because once I get out of phase 2 and I go into phase 3, and then when it's ready to go into phase 4 or introduce, I've got to make a plan on what is it I am going to introduce. I'm not a real bread person, so I just have to be careful and not do the self-talk as I don't even want to get up this morning and step on the scale, because that overwhelming having to deal with the emotional part of a scale and what that scale says, and it's looking back at me and it's dictating to me and saying, this is what you're going to have to do. So I have a hard time with that. Not only that, I have the self-talk. and I know all of us deal with this, is we begin to tell ourselves that, you know what, this is okay. I still feel good. I mean, these pair of jeans I have, they're still feeling, you know, I got down into a size 12, so I was in a size 18. And so I did get down to a size 12 jean. It was like snug, but I couldn't do a 14. And so I wanted the 12 and was shocked. But the thought of maintaining that weight to stay in the size 12 was overwhelming. So I start self-talking. I start telling myself it'll be okay. And that's not what I want. I don't want to fall for the same traps. Now that I recognize what I'm doing, I don't want to fall for it. So, you know, I think that I have to learn how to say, you know, listen, this is just things that you can't eat. It's like Mama Clock has, you know, said before, is that there's just certain things I can't go back eating. Now, I went on the Atkins diet years ago, and I lost 50 pounds. This was way back. Nobody heard of this guy. And my daughter went into the bookmobile that was across the street and took her brother and sister over there. I said, you know, get me a book, get me something, I don't care. So she gets a diet book for her mother, go figure. And, I mean, the guy still had black hair on the front of the cover. That's how old this book was. And I read the whole thing from front to back, and I went to the grocery store, and I bought, there was no Atkins products out. None of that stuff. That was non-existent. And so I started, and I mean, I was on it, and I had lost, it's like 50 pounds just kind of just, I mean, I was eating salami and cream cheese. Like, I mean, I snacked on that all during the day if I was hungry. That's what I snacked on. So what concerns me is I know that works. I had no headaches. I felt better. I had more energy. But the fact of trying to be satisfied to have a slice of pizza and just eat the toppings and not the dough, which I'm not even a dough eater, but for some reason the dough with the pizza, the bread, it's, you know, it goes hand in hand. And I was like a pizza-holic. I mean, I am, you know, I like pizza. So I just made up my mind. That was it. I wasn't going to lose any more weight. And so anyway, and I never had a scale then either. So I never weighed myself that whole time. But all my clothes, of course, you know, they were just falling off of me. And, but I know I have to make up my mind that this is something I'm going to have to do. And I just don't like the energy that it takes my brain to go standing on a scale and looking at it and it being either, is it good news or is it bad news? What's it going to be today? You know, okay, it's bad news. Now what am I going to do the rest of my day? Am I going to freak out and think, what's the use? And then go ahead and then just decide I'm going to just go ahead and eat whatever it is? You know, and then before you know it, that time is gone, that the day is over, and I've put stuff in my mouth, and the scale gets going up, and before you know it, I even forget about a diet. I even forget about my weight, and that scale gets put up somewhere on the shelf where the grandkids can't get it, where they jump around on it and everything, you know, or, so this is what I wanted to talk about. That's going to be one of my biggest things, is going to be the self-talk and the scale situation. So I wanted to get that out. So then if I start commenting and I start making a vlog, and you know, I'm making these vlogs, and then I get on there and I start griping about the scale situation, or I just disappear off the, you know, the planet, and I don't want to have to do that. And I want to work at it and stick with it this time. And there's no excuse. I have no reason not to. I mean, we can all find reasons not to. But the benefit of feeling better and laying in bed and being so sore and heart, you know, flip over from one side to the other. Not to mention the whole snoring thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, my parents are like snorers. I mean, you can hear it loud growing up. And they struggled with weight too. So I don't see how my husband sleeps through. I'm telling you, I could not sleep through the snoring situation that he sleeps through. So I want to stop that. too. And so I wanted to make this other vlog and to tell you, and I had a subscriber, Miss Rilla, let's see, Rillas Villa, I think, RILLASVILLA. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and you're going to start in January, and that's awesome, and I'm like, you know, I'm there with you, and so I just wanted to, you know, just get that out there, that these are the issues, so I can deal with these issues, deal with this mind game that I play with myself right now, at least get some of it out. So come January, you know, that, you know, I can really look back at these videos and say, okay, when did I start this with my head that starts going down this road? So I just want to let you know, and I hope you all subscribe and help me out, and I can help you, and I'm just there again ready. I'm ready to get started. If it wasn't for going out of town, I would have already done it, and I could go through Christmas, because I don't hardly eat anything at Christmas time. I cook, but I'm just not, I just don't care about the food. Unless probably if I go on a diet, then all of a sudden then I want the food, you know. It's like, you know, don't tell me I can't have it, and then that's when I want it, when I can't have it. So, okay, the time's like flying by, and I'm going to start rambling on. So, hope to see you again. Maybe do another vlog in a couple more days. One right before Christmas, and good talking to you. See you next time.